hitting some of the biggest things I've hit in my life and then crashing on a corner is like pretty funny. So. Yeah.
So how was it then? You're in the buggy or in the uplift on the way back up. You've done that jump once, and you know you've now got a race run broadcast to however many hundreds of thousands or millions of people around the world on Red Bull TV.
I'm just really glad I had Gracie, and I'm glad I could go up with her so she wasn't alone as well. So yeah, we just kind of kept it pretty chill, chatted the whole way up, and I think the whole week did build up to that, because when we initially got there, the thought of doing a full run was really overwhelming for me. Like, to think of hitting all the features, doing a race run in front of so many people, potentially being the first person to do it, or one of the first with the other girls, it was too much for my brain to handle. So throughout the week, my good friend Casey's my mechanic this year, and he's such a legend. He's such a good rider, and his mental space is meant. So he was just super chill with all week and was like, don't stress, just do like one thing at a time, one step at a time, one feature at a time. If you're feeling it, keep going. If you're not, don't worry about it. So when it came down to hitting that jump at the end, I was like, okay, well, this is just the next step. Like, and then as soon as I hit it, he's like, sweet, you did that great. Like, he was like, next step, go do a full run. And I was like, I had almost done a full run in practice, because I'd done from the top down to that jump and then stopped. So I was like, I have an idea of what it feels like, but without all the pressure. And that practice in the morning had been a bit wet and the track started to dry up. So yeah, the bottom section was pretty much completely dry, but the top, as you saw, there's a rooty section as you drop in at the start gate, and that did catch a couple people out, unfortunately. So yeah, the track was changing, and I think when me and Gracie went up, I was ready for a run. And I was excited to hit that last jump, because now I knew I could do it. And I was so pumped to have the opportunity to show that we could do it. But the easiest sections of the track got me. I think I was so focused on the bigger features that I just kind of, I wasn't riding myself in like the two corners I crashed in. I hadn't crashed in those bits all week. I barely had any crashes all week. I had one in a corner. And then I was kind of thinking back on it now and kind of laughing at myself, because hitting some of the biggest things I've hit in my life and then crashing on a corner is like pretty funny. So
the track had changed a bit though, right? Like, it looked like, certainly that second crash you had, it looked like there was quite a big hole in that turn. But
yeah, I realised that watching the men come down that a lot of them weren't even hitting that corner. So yeah, because it deteriorated so much and there's so much dust. But that's at the top of the track. It's like, it was almost like three different tracks put together in terms of the terrain, like the dirt, because the top bit was wet-ish, and then the middle bit was like perfect, and then the bottom bit was incredibly dusty and so blown out. Like, yeah, it was really cool. And it was just watching Gracie finish a run, because we had a screen at the top, was really nice, so I could see that she'd like made it through everything. And yeah, it was just, that was a really good way to start my run. And part of me was almost embarrassed. Like, I was thinking about this on the flight back, because I had so much time to think with some long layovers, that I was like, just so embarrassed that I crashed in the easiest sections. And I felt like I was representing like all women, because we were the first to do it. But because Gracie proved that we could, I'm like, I'm not a bad, like, I don't know, I'm not like a bad role model for women. But then I crashed, so then I was like, Gracie's proved that we can do it, and then I proved that we can crash and get back up. Like, we're more than capable of falling down and like completing this track. Like, it was definitely a challenge all week, but yeah, we deserve to be there. And not just me and Gracie, but I'm sure there's a whole category of women that could do this.
Yeah, you 100% should not be embarrassed. Like, both your run and Gracie's run were incredible, like so good to watch. But I watched your helmet cam back, your GoPro run back, and just the thing that blew me away was your calmness. Like, after that, I mean, that first crash was like a fair crash, like it was pretty meaty.
Yeah.
I think I'd have been at home on the couch, like, you know, mopping my wounds sort of thing, and you just got up and the marshal's like, write it down, and you're like, yeah, I'm okay, yeah, I'm gonna be all right, like dust yourself off. How do you find that composure to, I mean, you're riding the gnarliest track, or one of the two gnarliest tracks on the planet, and you're live on TV and you seem so chill about it. How do you stay in that headspace?
Yeah, I don't know, because after the second crash, I did consider stopping, because I was the first crash I had, I checked my bike to make sure it was okay, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going for sure. Like, I'm so lucky to be here. Not many people get to race this race, and yeah, I still want to finish. So yeah, I checked my bike and stuff to make sure it was okay, so I could continue and hit the features with a bit of confidence. But then after the second crash, I was like, I was kind of laughing, but also quite, like, I was like, maybe I should just stop. Like, I'm obviously not on a good run here, and I've crashed before at races, but yeah, it did feel like quite a lot. And there was some people off to the side of the track, and some kids were there, and one of them asked me if I was going to keep going. And it was when I had the thought of, like, maybe I should just stop, and this kid was like, are you going to keep going, or like, are you going to finish the track? And then I was like, I could barely even look at the kids. I just said yeah, and then I just got back on my bike, and I just decided, if I just get back up and continue with the track, if it feels good, I'm just gonna finish. And I'm so glad I did, because the feeling of crossing the finish line was so sick. Like, there was so many people cheering, and yeah, the whole week of emotions and like a bit of stress with the wind and stuff was all worthwhile. And yeah, it was nice to congratulate Gracie at the bottom as well, instead of rolling around the features and trying to get to her and say well done. I like managed to come into the finish and say like it myself. So yeah, I was really happy for the both of us to complete a run. And yeah, and just Casey, like, he came all that way with me to Australia, and like for the whole week, like, it's not just me, it was like all the effort of Red Bull, Tanny getting us there. Like, it just felt like I should keep going. And yeah, I'm really glad I did. So
fair play. Yeah, impressive. Were you feeling the after effects of it at all? That second crash particularly was like a rapid sort of front flip, as it just took your front wheel, didn't it? Yeah,
I just pretty much stopped. Like, yeah, my front suspension like compressed and just got ejected. But my neck's really stiff, actually. And I broke my helmet as well, but I'm so glad it took the impact, because I've been feeling fine and remember everything, and feeling pretty good, but I'm just trying to take it a bit easy. So I feel incredibly stiff, but apart from that, I'm totally fine. Like, just
that's amazing
neck. Yeah, I think I'm pretty lucky. I wish I could land on my feet instead of my back, but
it was a pretty gnarly crash. I'm not surprised you broke a helmet in that. I mean, you went down hard, eh?
Yeah, and I definitely got away with it pretty good. And also, and I wasn't the only one to crash. Like, some of the guys got really unlucky, and I'm just glad that everyone was okay in the end.